another episode of Healthy Living. My name's Cole, your host. And today we're going to be making a homemade spaghetti sauce designed specifically for meat lovers. Of course, there's not going to be any meat in it because it's all going to be leveraging Morningstar's vegetarian meat balls. Okay? And these get made out of soy, so they're veggie meatballs, right? And what we're looking at trying to achieve here is a nice alternative that you're used to with the spaghetti sauce that's all earth positive and friendly and extremely good for you. So no cholesterol, no fats, all nice healthy stuff. And the spaghetti sauce is going to be made just the way Mama used to make it. Let's go and have a look. So, with some tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, with some red peppers, some green capsicum, onion, garlic, mushrooms, cilantro, parsley, some canned tomato paste, and Morningstar's meal starters, which are vegetarian meatballs or veggie meatballs. We're going to make the meat lovers vegetarian spaghetti sauce. Let's have a look at how it's done. Okay, so what I've started with is my onion and garlic added to the pan. I let the olive oil heat up considerably while I was working on it. Then I've added to that 1 packet of Goya's seasoning for the vegetable, 1 tablespoon of garlic salt, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, a light sprinkling of basil, and probably about 4 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Now this is about ready now for me to go and add the tomatoes in and my other vegetables. So let's have a look at how that goes. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've added half a capsicum, half a red pepper, 4 diced tomatoes, and my 2 onions, 4 cloves of garlic, my herbs and spices, and I'm letting it stew now. At this point in time, I'm ready to add in my canned tomatoes and my tomato paste, and let's move forward from there. Okay, so I've added in my tomato paste and my tomatoes. Notice the whole peeled tomatoes that came from the can. And I'm gonna mix those up shortly so that they all blend into the sauce. Now I'm gonna do that before I add my mushrooms in. Now let's just be aware of a couple things. This is not a meat sauce, so it doesn't need to cook nearly as long. And the reason why I'm using this big tall pot is because I'm splashing tomato sauce all around my kitchen. That's way too much work, right? So a big tall pot saves all of that work. The meatballs are going to add in last. Now they're vegetarian soy protein, so they don't need to be cooked the same way that meat does. Let's have a look at how it starts to come together. Mixer, I've made the sauce nice and even and balanced. The peeled tomatoes have all broken up. Notice how nice and red and rich looking it is. And it already tastes delicious. Now let's add in the mushrooms and the cilantro, and then let's look at putting the meatballs in. Okay, so we have our sauce now. It's been cooking for a while, right? It's mixed in nicely. All the herbs and spices are in there, the fresh parsley, the cilantro. It's all cooked through. And I added just a few pinches of salt. I would suggest salt is something that you add to taste. And we're ready for the meatballs. Now the meatballs are actually soy balls, right? You'll see that there, that's a soy ball. All you need to do is just drop it in, right? It depends on whether you've had them frozen or not in terms of how long you're going to let it cook. Just be aware though that with the sauce, ultimately, right, and with each pack you probably get about, I don't know, 15, so it's quite a lot anyway. You need to be conscious of that too in terms of the quantities that you're making. Now with these meatballs, just be aware that they are soy based, okay? You want them to soften and mix in nicely and absorb the flavor so they feel like they're part of the sauce. And you need to give it a few minutes for that to take place. Now with your sauce, in terms of thickness and consistency, be aware that if it starts to boil like lava, it's probably a little bit too thick.
and add a little bit of water. What you really want is something that's has a sauce consistency to it without it being a thick sauce, right? Because ultimately it's going to thicken anyway as the meatball absorbs some of the moistures and things like that. Anyway, let's have a look at how it turns out. Go, we have the vegetarian meat lover spaghetti sauce on top of wholemeal spaghetti. And if you have a look at it, you see the meatballs, they look as real as any meatball. Obviously they're just soy protein, and it is a delicious and tasty meal. Enjoy healthy living.